Now, I've seen a lot of grand projects in my time, but my own dream has always been just to find myself a beautiful bit of woodland, roll my sleeves up and build myself my own little bolt hole, really, a place in the wild, you know, somewhere to escape the madness of the modern world. Over the next year, I'm going to go off-grid to build a cabin in the woods. It's the mothership! But it will be no ordinary building. Because I'm going to make it with my bare hands.
Come on, Kevin!
Shut up! Repurposing, recycling and reusing the best of what I can find. Everything for the cabin, for the shed, has to come from this woodland. And if it doesn't, it has to be somebody else's rubbish. That is one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen. I'm going out into the woods to see if a simpler, more creative life, I do not want to screw this up, can make you a bit happier. It's so much better than before. Fire in the hole! We now seem to work harder and consume more than ever. An estimated 6 million Brits feel anxious or depressed. For all the stuff that comes with a 21st century life, we don't seem to be much happier. So, I'm attempting to unhook myself from the modern world. I'm going to go slow, recycle, repurpose, and make stuff, and to build myself a magnificent retreat, the shed of my imagination. My project, a self-built baby grand design on a 2-acre plot in Somerset, has begun. I make these programs about people going off on these great big adventures that last 2 years where they build a house. Well, actually, I really believe we can all do very small adventures every weekend. Pushing yourself and being right outside where you normally are and right outside your comfort zone. My woodland hideaway is already taking shape, but I've not chosen the easy way. It's handmade, it's recycled, repurposed, and since it has no mains power around, entirely off-grid. Buildings ought to improve our relationship with a place, not cut it off. And that's really important for me with this project, is to make a building which somehow helps me stay here longer and feel part of this place more. What a building, eh? What a building. Having built and insulated the structure, I now want to turn my shed from an empty shell into a space that's habitable. For this, I think I'll need a solid, durable floor. I'll need some windows, perhaps. And of course, the hearth at the heart of every home, a fire for heat. This is a deliberately slow project. It's taken 6 months just to get this far. And what with it being the wettest April on record, I'm now wondering whether recycling and hand-making everything is too ambitious a goal. So the thing about oak frame buildings is you put them up and you know, in this case clad them, you think, great, you've got a building, you know. What you've got is a frame that now has been made weathertight, but it's uninsulated. We've got no floor, we've got no window, we've got no heating, we've got no comforts, we've got no luxuries. I mean, this is just a hovel at the moment. This is just a dark, dank hole, and it is yet to be transformed into this glorious, beautiful thing of my imagination. Fire is the element that breathes life into a building and transforms a bare structure into a refuge from the elements, a home. Given the abundance of coppice timber in my wood, a wood-burning stove is the obvious answer. One, as I like to insist, recycled out of something else. There is an amazing thing in being able to take something which has almost no use at all, is useless in its present form, but when you repurpose it and reinvent it and you add a bit of imagination and skill, it becomes a new object of immense value. The question is, what to use?
Now, we want to be turning first left.
Down here?
Yeah.
I have a hunch. Somewhere inside this building lies the very thing I need. A quarter of a ton of solid steel safe that could perform brilliantly as a stove and radiate heat like a volcano.
Probably far enough in.
Can't get out.
No.
Look at that.
Whoa. That's a corker.
It's exactly the right shape and size for a stove, isn't it? You think that's a really nice, it's a big stove. I mean, that would heat a small house. Turning an old safe into a functioning wood burner is eco-friendly, cheap and off-grid. But this lump needs some serious engineering know-how from Will, my man Friday.
Slidey, slidey.
Walkie, walkie.
Yeah.
This quarter of a ton of reinforced steel is effectively a ready-made firebox. My future source of warmth and comfort. So can we get this liner out? Is that the idea? You get the inner skin out of the thing?
Yeah.
Well, what's underneath the carpet in the drawer?
Oh, a tenner.
Oh, no, it's some empty money bags. I'm aware that there are lots of stoves that I could just go out and buy. And they cost between £1,000 and £5,000 each. The ones that are commissioned, you know, specially made for you, might cost £10,000, £20,000. And yet, if you find the right old object, you can sort of repurpose it into a stove at the cost of a couple of hundred. That's what amazes me. The most important modification to the safe will be the flue, a pipe to draw air in and carry the smoke out, and it'll need a hole punched out to take it. What diameter is the pipe?
115 mil.
There's no manual for this, so to supervise the repurposing and installation, we've drafted in an off-grid heating expert, Kev the Pipe.
Unbolt this, shift this down.
This is going to rotate to reveal a grill for the air inlet. The idea is you can tip this to the side to let the air in, to let the fire really go, and then you drop it back down once the fire's going. Not only is it a recycled object, but it is a totally unique thing. And no one else in the world has got a stove that looks like that. No one. At the moment, though, it's just a chunky metal box. To get the all-important flue pipe in, we need a tool capable of cutting through heavy steel. They're going to spatter further away, so I'm going to come in here. So, Will's suggesting the staple of the classic 70s bank job, the thermic lance.
This thing is going to spew red-hot metal. It's going to be like holding onto your own volcano. I mean, there will be burning metal firing out of the end of it.
It's not exactly the most accurate thing, then.
No, far from it. So, I mean, this is the difference between having a finely sharpened pencil and a village idiot with an axe.
That'll be me, then. No self-respecting heist should be without a thermic lance. A blazing metal tube that can slice through steel or concrete like a knife through butter. Packed with iron rods and blasted with pure oxygen, it burns at 4,000 degrees. It is the world's most dangerous sparkler. In 1971, thieves used a thermic lance to tunnel into a Baker Street bank vault, stealing £32 million in today's money. Got one of Santa's little helpers. A thermic lance will slice through skin and bone in half a second. So we're donning medieval elf costumes made from leather. This is apparently the correct protective measure.
Okay, Kevin!
If you're going to wield an 8-foot-long wobbly rod that's fizzing at 4,000 degrees, it's good to practice first.
Now that is more like it. That's right! Whoa!
But can it cut through 2.5 centimetres of burglar-proof steel? It's my safe, so clearly I should be the one to find out.
We're not nervous, are we?
I mean, technologically, I think it's fine, but I do not want to screw this up. We light the lance at the last possible moment. Because as it burns, the lance consumes itself, getting shorter and shorter.
That's it. Just keep on dotting it around. Yep.
One false move and I could cut Will in half. It ain't pretty, but it's a hole. Great for cutting into the back of a bank vault, and reasonably good for making a hole for my flue.
That's not been easy, has it?
But not dull either.
No. I mean, how many
terror.
opportunities in your life have you had to play with a thermic lance?
As the bishop said to the actress.
Yes.
The safe has at last been cracked, albeit there's a lot of fettling to do before the hole is fully circular. Why not go to the trouble of trying to make it from scratch, or look for that solution which is just a little bit more clever? Because in the end, I think the rewards and the pleasure from doing that are infinitely greater. Next.
You guys ready?
Oh, here it comes, here it comes. Making glass for windows in a field. Whoa.
That's the baby.
Right.
Keep it going like that.
Once you've mastered the technique, do it bigger. Unhooking yourself from the stresses of modern life is all very well, but nobody told me about the mud. The shed of my imagination is at least up and waiting for the off-grid additions that'll make it habitable. This is not a quick turn-it-around-in-a-month project. This is a kind of 6-month, year-long thing. So why not take one's time? Why not make something beautiful? The larger challenge is to craft a building that is both off-grid and beautiful, alternative and elegant. Having begun to work on a source of heat for my shed, I now need to think about light. I don't want to live in a black hole. I want to live in a light building. I like the idea of contact with the outside and the idea of daylight streaming into the building. I love that. Windows absolutely fundamental. I could cheat and buy a ready-made window or recycle some ginger beer bottles, but my plan is much more basic: to make my own glass. It's hard to believe that glass can be made from nothing but sand. The trick lies in getting it to melt so it can be transformed into a useful see-through material. You need to heat sand to well above 1400 degrees. But if you add simple household ingredients like powdered limestone and washing soda, then magically the mix will liquefy beautifully and even, apparently, produce glass that will let light through. The last thing I want is black windows. Have you ever seen so much stuff? I don't think we're going to need the tyre. Making glass requires intense heat, experience and talent. I have none of these. I do, however, have the workshop. my field.
All I said was, it would be really interesting to try and make some glass.
So, I've called in a favour from old friend Katie Yunn, who's up for building an outdoor furnace.
You all right, Kevin?
Yeah.
Sorry about this.
Katie is a glass expert with 25 years' experience. Even so, this experiment is something entirely new for her.
Have you made glass from sand?
Scratch, never. No, so this is a whole new thing for me. All I know is that we've got to take it up really, really high.
Okay.
To make glass, we need 1 part powdered limestone, 2 parts washing soda, and 4.5 parts fine sand, mixed together and heated with very on-grid propane in Katie's furnace for 2 hours until they melt.
So how hot do they need to be?
Ideally, we want the furnace to be up around our melting temperature, which is about 1250.
What's the worst that can happen?
The worst that can happen is that I don't get the temperature that is required,
Yeah.
and it just stays as a mass.
The key thing here is getting to the right temperature, and there's no thermometer or pyrometer or thermocoupling.
It's all by eye.
So if you open the back door, give them as much. That's it?
That's warm.
Right.
Yeah, I bet.
That's very warm. You get a suntan off that.
The furnace has been charging for 3 hours. It's hot enough for Katie, and that's good enough for me.
Lovely.
You done this before? Quick, we like your style.
Yeah.
I quite like my style too.
Top charge.
Our glass mix will take 2 hours to melt completely, so we have time to kill and an old milk churn to adapt.
We're not making glass in this. We're making breakfast.
Yeah. I think we're heading in the right direction with this.
There is no better way to fry an egg than with a propane blowtorch.
I don't know why people don't do them like this normally.
Look at it. Fantastic.
Cheers, Kevin.
Food of the gods.
Our raw mix has been in the furnace for 2 hours.
It looks like a tartiflette,
Yeah.
sort of lovely cheese dish.
So we'll see what happens.
It's now time to check whether our base materials have melted.
It's ready.
Oh, here it comes, here it comes. Whoa.
So, can we make transparent glass window panes?
Move it around.
Yeah, I can do with a tool of my end to push it down.
It's a race between me and the transparent toffee, which is cooling too fast.
You happy with that?
Trying to get it bigger and flatter and thinner.
The panels of glass are so thick, we'll end up using all our mix to make 3 little portholes at this rate.
It's really stiff.
Yeah, it's really
It's not
stiff.
pastry. It's a really resistant material and slippery. I'm going to look for a rolling pin.
Okay.
We must have something. We must have a bit of wood somewhere.
You see what this nutter's carrying across the field towards us?
I thought he was going to toss the cable.
So it's skipped off something with that.
The best moments working with great craftspeople like Katie are when you start to get creative. And it all goes a little bit exciting. Okay, here we go. Will. Out. And back.
Oh, look at him.
That's the baby.
Right.
Keep it going like that.
It's very thin. Oh.
That is the rule of thumb today. Once you've mastered the technique, do it bigger.
Okay. Oh.
Back.
Wow.
That's good.
So that's big.
I think this could be a whole new process in glass making.
The glass will crack if it cools too quickly, so Katie puts the panes into her cooling oven.
We haven't got got much room left in that.
In the layer, which is great news. We'll be able to have bifold doors at this rate.
Normally it takes weeks for the glass to come.
And we do it in hours.
It's been a
Exactly.
doddle.
We make the glass from silica.
This has been an outstanding propane-fueled success. There are 20 panes of glass in the cooling oven.
I had a dream that we would produce opaque, obsidian-like black glass that would only let black light in. And this is a dream in comparison. Look at the colour of it. Made from sand. Just magic.
Two days pass before the glass cools and I can check the panes haven't cracked. So do we have a window, or have we just made some junk for the recycling?
Oh my good lord. Rollered with the fence post. Yeah. You can sort of see when somebody might be approaching. That's not really the point, is it? Just to let some light in. And it's silly, let's have it.
It will look like
I'm sorry, but that's just perfection, isn't it? That's sort of vaguely rectangular, that one, yeah. Yeah.
I don't think any of us can quite believe the magical results. We've created crystalline beauty with fence posts and sand, performed alchemy with a few piles of dirt, and I almost have a window. It's 7 months since I began my own mad, grand shed project. From the start, I wanted to make things here from the materials to hand, or recycle useless stuff into objects of value. And no object is more valuable than my wood-burning stove.
Whoa!
But this is no ordinary wood burner.
I'm banging both of my knees.
It's been finessed and subtly repurposed from a 1930s steel safe into a 21st century shed heating solution. There's no guarantee this stove will work. To help make sure we don't cock up the installation, off-grid heating expert Kev the Pipe is on hand to offer annoying criticisms.
Why don't you want anybody calling it a chimney, Kev?
Because a chimney is part of the building structure, and a flue is a pipe that comes out the back of an appliance.
Thank you for that clarification.
No problem. That's why they call me Kev the Pipe.
On Kev's very clear instructions, to install my stove, we're drilling a hole through the cabin wall.
Oh, in.
Fitting an insulated adapter to connect the flue to the stovepipe.
There we are. Lovely.
Lining the inside with fireproof bricks.
And that's it.
Positioning a little viewing window. Then adding the details that still hint at its original use.
These two beautiful things are from the safe itself. That'll make the perfect door for the ventilation and reveal, you see, the ventilation holes. Nice.
I do love it when the skill and persistence of 3 men comes together to make a repurposed engineering marvel.
I think it's epic.
Just as well.
Epic. It is there is no other wood burner like this on the planet.
Go on, light it, Triggett.
Little bits of bark and stuff.
That is drawing already, look.
Yes, brilliantly.
Can you see it?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, puffing Billy.
There we go.
Oh.
It's like a steam train.
I've just discovered that of all the stuff I've tried and like doing, that actually just being in a woodland and just having fun and mucking about and lighting fires, that's the thing that really sets my soul on fire.
That's fantastic.
Isn't it?
New fire, new den,
Black smoke.
Black
Brilliant.
smoke.
Right, well, that could be a problem. The black smoke is a layer of toxic 80-year-old paint burning off the stove.
That is really smoking, isn't it?
The cabin's filling up with disgusting fumes. We really ought to get this stuff scraped off.
Oh, dear. Oh.
Come on.
Throw something at it.
I'm asthmatic. Get lost.
What?
We should have burnt the paint off in Will's workshop. The recycling and reinvention of stuff sometimes has unfortunate side effects, but hidden benefits too.
I think we can have a sauna. Starting to cook a little.
Whoa! It's a mere 40 degrees now. Oh, man. This is the shed laboratory. You see now, look. Fantastic off-grid success. Great experiment. We also know it works as a sauna if we want it to. However, the fire itself inside is a beautiful thing, and I could sit all evening once the sun has gone down and stare at that, drinking and imagining stories in my head.
My stove, it turns out, is efficient and burns well. It'll be fueled from the wood I cut from this place, which is free, and it has itself cost almost nothing.
There is an amazing thing in being able to take something out of a skip or, I don't know, a broken barrel or a bit of old tractor and turning it into a useful object. It has more potential for fun and enjoyment, and it has more story, it has more meaning in it than anything you buy. Hang on.
My cabin in the woods has had life breathed into it.
There is no other wood burner like this on the planet.
My stove symbolizes so much about this place. It's a one-off, recycled, imaginative distraction from the modern world.
Oh,
There we
that.
go.
That is fantastic. I do not want the shed to be any ordinary shed. I want it to be more fantastical than that. I want it to be the shed of my imagination. That suddenly opens up all kinds of opportunities, doesn't it? To experiment, to have fun, to put things into the shed which are not commonplace, but which are themselves of the imagination.
It's 7 months since I began building. My shed is warm, but it's still pretty treacherous because there's no floor yet. The floor will have to be solid and durable, but also low-cost and eco-friendly, meaning I should be looking at the available materials around me.
If you build a house or a building, you build it from the materials there, it's gonna be of that place, and therefore, I suppose romantically, I feel it's going to put its roots down and feel as it belongs.
Oak would be the obvious flooring material here, but there's a more ancient alternative, one with an even less environmental impact than wood.
One of the recipes I've come across, which is almost unknown, involves using milk mixed with earth to form a sort of cheese to make the floor.
A cheese floor isn't as crazy as it sounds. It was medieval builders who clocked the binding and hardening qualities of milk, adding it to a mix of earth, chalk and straw to create the first cheese floor. All milk then was unpasteurized and full of bacteria, so it soured quickly, producing the all-important mix of lactic acid and protein to bind and harden the floor mix. There were other weird ingredients. Pig blood was used to change the colour, and horsehair added as a strengthener in the final smooth layer. My eco-friendly cheese floor will have to be handmade. There's no clear written recipe, so I'll be winging it. But I think I should be using unpasteurised milk.
Oh, there's the cows.
Chris and Sam Norman milked 210 cows twice a day. And they've agreed to let me collect the 30 or so gallons I need for my cheese floor.
What are you planning to do with it then?
So we're going to use it to mix with chalk and earth to make a floor.
Oh, right.
Can you believe that? No, neither can I. Okay. You do feel especially vulnerable, don't you? Yeah, really vulnerable, yeah. I'm standing in between the two cows who have already crapped. I figure that's the safest place to be.
This girl is ready for action.
Look at that. Oh, she's desperate to be milked.
Absolutely.
She's leaking.
I've only milked a cow by hand once before. It needs a gentle touch combined with a firm squeeze.
There's one over here just raining.
Gosh.
I might as well just hold the bucket there. Hang on.
Just need a much bigger bucket.
Is it a familiar kind of action, Will?
I don't know.
I suppose it all depends what you're used to, doesn't it?
At the rate we're going, to get 30 gallons, we'll be hand milking these ladies for the next 13 hours.
That's what I've got. Not much, is it?
There is little choice but to cave in to modern methods
Oh, she goes. Look at this. Look at the pipe.
and let the milking machine suck out our precious flooring material.
That's great, isn't it?
The cheese floor formula requires the finest horse or goat hair to strengthen its top coat. But my local hairdresser has an alternative for free.
Give it a go have a look.
Oh, it's gross. Oh, dear me, it looks like some manky old sheep's died in the bag.
Something's dead.
Oh, horrible.
When it comes to using earth for building, you need legs for mixing and arms for shoveling. Will and I have roped in the limbs of Adrian the woodsman and Kev the pipe.
So we have a pile of subsoil, we have a ton bag half full of chopped up chalk, we have a bag of human hair, a pile of straw, and some spades. Oh, and the milk. So we're ready to make our floor. Look at you.
Is he actually burrowing?
He's disappeared. Hey! Good man.
Widget the dog is chopping the straw, and Will has brought a large inflatable mixing bowl. The bulk of the 3-inch floor is a guesstimated mix in roughly equal parts of chalk, clay and straw, plus the milk trodden together by a bunch of medieval idiots.
The joy about this project is that it's me, it's mine, it's no one else's, so I can do what I want. If I'm not going to experiment here, where else can I experiment? I can't experiment with a client's place. I can't experiment on my own house, really. That's the whole point about a shed, isn't it? That, you know, you go to a shed to experiment, to try stuff out. That's what the sheds are for. They're for trying stuff out. Can you pass the hair?
Yes. It's started to sweat.
Oh, it's gone all air. This is an entire wig. Look. Oh. The straw helps bind clay together, and it's very good, but it's also very crude. So when you try and put a polish on with a knife, you scrape a blade across the surface. If you've got straw in it, you'll just get it just ripping out. Whereas, oh man, with the hair, it's much finer. In theory. Is that a moustache you're making? That's gross! Take it off. Go and wash. The thing about modern materials is that they come with big data sheets and health and safety warnings. You're not allowed to put your fingers in them. You have to wear safety goggles, and we're insulated from the materials. And the lovely thing about this stuff is that, you know, you get close up and dirty.
Scraping and polishing the clay gives it a sheen like plaster. Adding a milk wash perfects the finish.
You see these beautiful colours here? The greys, the blues, the ochres coming through. That's fantastic. That's beautiful. It's like marble. It also indicates a really poorly mixed floor, which means they're going to crack like buggery.
That looked $1 million better than that a minute ago. You monkey!
Now we have to wait for it to dry. Spring has finally come to this idyllic piece of woodland, and I feel like my cabin is also bursting with life.
Just walking into the shed, I can just feel the love. You know what I mean? The energy, all that commitment, all that kind of time, all the rain, all the people mucking about in, you know, waterproofs with hammers and chisels, making it. And it's there in the building, you know. I didn't buy it out of catalogue, it's made by my mates. And that's really special.
But there's one thing it still badly needs. A window, a hole to let some light in. The blobby chunks of spun and fence-rolled glass that Will and I made with Katie need to be cut into manageable shapes. They're too uneven to slice by hand, so I'm using a diamond cutter. Once cut into a load of rectangular but irregular shapes, the headache is arranging them. Katie's help is invaluable.
You know what I'm going to try and do now? Sort of play Jenga and somehow arrive at a total rectangle.
Slightly bigger than what you thought you'd get?
It's kind of what I'd hoped, but more. Slightly brilliant. Slightly epic.
It's not always straightforward designing with the happenstance. In this case, some free-form field-rolled glass. I especially don't want this higgledy-piggledy collection of panes to look like a hobbit window.
I like the idea of being able to sit at a desk that I've made, so I look up out of the window and I see somebody approaching down the field. Through the window, through a piece of glass. Yeah, gotta have some light. It's magical. Love it. Love the stories in it. Love, you know, it's like a picture book in a way. Funny that. And it's clear. And look, I can see out of it. I can even see the field. That is a triumph.
Apart from some second-hand plywood and insulation, my handmade cabin is made almost entirely from the woods around it. The question is, just how far can I go, making my own building materials?
I've got no electric, I've got no gas, so I have to be off-grid. And that means figuring out, you know, how to cook, heat, light, all in a way which doesn't harm the environment around me and which, wherever possible, makes use of waste, of stuff which would otherwise just get thrown away. They've still got rigor mortis, these. They're beginning to loosen up.
These rabbits are all from a local farm, culled to protect the crops. The meat goes to the butchers, but the skins go to waste. They get buried.
They're quite heavy, aren't they? I mean, they're a good kilo each.
I've dug up an 18th century recipe that uses the skins to make glue.
This one's still got its liver in.
If I get it right, this rabbit glue should be strong enough to use on some heavy-duty woodwork, like the doorway to my shed. It was prehistoric man who discovered that animals were useful for more than just food. He found that by boiling up the bones, horns and skin, sticky proteins were released that could be turned into glue. By the Middle Ages, animal glue was a byproduct of tanning leather. Tanners collected wee from piss pots on street corners and used it to strip the hair from the animal's skins in pursuit of super-strength adhesives.
Widget?
True to tradition, my own rabbit glue will also be made from scratch.
You're one step ahead of me, Kev.
I'm collecting for charity. Any small pea, I'm going to put it behind the log. Right?
Right.
I expect to see it full by the end of the afternoon.
Well, I'll see what I can rustle up.
More coffee, garçon.
The more we can get in the bucket, the more skins we can soak, the more glue we'll get for... After 24 hours marinating in woodsman's wee,
Disgusting.
Really gooey.
our rabbit skins can be deferred,
Some bits it's just falling out.
simmered repeatedly for 2 days in water,
Well, marshmallow, anyone?
then poured like gravy into trays, where it sets like rubber and then dries in the sun to a crisp.
Wow.
Ooh, look at that. Really, really tough. It's like a pig's ear. Underscoring all this is the sort of principle of being efficient, that's all. Being efficient with my own waste, with other people's waste, with the materials I've got to hand and with the land I've got to use.
Sort of slightly sinewy.
Oh, that's like
Look
leather.
to
It's
it
like
all.
leather. The more I get involved with sustainability, the more I feel I should try and find out for myself where the limits are of it, really. You know, where what's possible and what isn't. Flakes of gold.
Rabbit flavour.
Rabbit gold.
It's taken 3 days to get my gravy granule glue, but before I use it on my cabin, I need to test whether it's strong enough to hold those heavy timbers that'll support the doorway.
Right, that's it. It's sorted.
So the only thing holding this together is glue.
It is.
Our glue.
Yes.
Wills devised a block and tackle test. If the glue will take my weight, it'll be more than fit for use in the shed.
This may not work.
If you do those straps up any tighter, they're going to snap.
It's very important that it's well put away.
Yeah, not traps. Yes. Right. You all right?
Just don't dangle me around like a bag of potatoes.
The grey, furry moment of truth approaches.
Okay.
Oh. Oh my good Lord.
You are now completely dangling on nothing but rabbit glue. Yeah.
That is a miracle of nature. And now let's just try bouncing on the glue.
Can I dangle on your feet? Ready?
Yeah, go on. Oh! That's bunny strength. I think the verdict on the rabbit glue is 150% success.
So you're quite comfy out there then, Kath?
Could do with a bit more sensation in my legs.
We're just about to go and have our tea break.
Wait! sometime in the next half hour would be good. Wait, it's not funny anymore. I'm building the shed of my imagination with my friends.
It's
like leather.
Yeah, look.
Really tough. It's like a pig's ear. Crafting, reusing, repurposing stuff. And I'm having the time of my life. The joy about this project is that it's me, it's mine, it's no one else's. So I can do what I want. It's 2 weeks since I laid my experimental cheesy floor. It's been damp weather recently, so I have no idea how well the thing has set.
What do you reckon then?
I don't know. Oh. Oh!
Oh, what is it?
It's
Wow.
marbled.
Oh, look.
You can dent it just with your finger, can't you? Yeah?
I think you'd call that leathery, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
But
yeah,
you've
yeah.
still got a very slight amount of movement in the surface.
Very cold.
I was expecting that to be mouldy of one type or another.
Do you know what? No. There's a white bloom. Can you see across the surface?
I can, yeah.
Just like on a really good goat's cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah? Goat's cheese floor. Wow. OK, it'll need longer to dry, but it is a super low-cost, low-impact floor that should last for years, centuries even. So you got the glue, Will?
Yeah.
How's it cooking?
Well, it's ready to go if
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
good
yeah.
for some glue.
Keeping the floor dry means keeping the weather out.
Yeah, I'm going to step on through with it and keep it sort of stirring.
Yeah, keep stirring.
The shed needs a robust door frame, which is just one of the many jobs for my super strength hot rabbit glue.
Go,
Okay,
Adam.
ready, steady, glue.
We know this stuff is strong, and we know once it cools it'll set fast, so we need to get the joints slotted into place just as soon as they're glued.
Keep going. Harder.
Into the joint, yeah, oh!
Come on.
Ratchet on.
That's it, coming up tight.
The glue is immediately as strong and flexible as neoprene rubber. I've got a door frame stuck together with high-performance off-grid glue. We should use more of this stuff. That rabbit skin glue is a super glue. I'm going to stop using that modern glue. I'm going to just use rabbit skin glue from now on. In the 4 months I've spent in my little piece of wilderness, my shed has slowly progressed from hollow carcass to habitable cabin. This is several gallons of cider, which is going to mull on top of the stove. It feels like a slow march towards civilization. There is a window. There is comfort and insulation. A floor, heat from my stove, and the glimmerings of some joy. So, I'm throwing open the doors to welcome the people who've had a hand in getting it this far. You know what housewarming means? It means, literally, the warming of the house. It is the moment when the hearth of the home is first lit, and so every visitor brings something to burn. It's Kev.
Hello, Mr. McCloud, sir. I bought you a bit of wood.
Have you?
Yeah.
You're a good man. That's very, very generous of you. Thank you.
Thanks.
Doesn't matter how big or small. That's more like it. That's a big one. Whoa. Drinks.
Drink.
Cheers. Look at that.
I love the shed. I think it's absolutely gorgeous.
Oh, look, it's really rocking.
Oh, it's actually burning.
Every part of it has been handmade and, well, lovingly handmade as well.
What this important machine represents is a tradition in house building which goes back thousands of years, which is housewarming, and it would drive away the vagrant spirits that would have occupied that place So I think it's very appropriate that we're doing this, and I want to thank you all for bringing the timber, the wood, to christen this baby and protect us all. So thank you. And here's to the shed. Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers. Kevin, there's one more thing for you.
I know your surprise is tricky.
Yeah.
And usually involves some form of humiliation. What is that? Bloody hellfire. It's a wicker man.
I'm all for chasing away the evil spirits, but I think Will and Kev might have joined their ranks.
Why has it got my head on it?
Well, the idea is that we're going to burn this, and your power and energy will drive away any of the vagrant spirits that just kind of left the building and thought we'll hang around a bit till he's not looking.
But I might spontaneously combust as well in the process.
Has anybody got a light?
Whenever you're ready.
Go on, Robert. Can you feel those flames licking up around the...
Oh, I've got an itch on my left leg. I don't want to look at the picture. It's really spooky. It's really odd. It's very odd.
Way!
That's great.
Oh, wow. All that work.
I think it's blooming brilliant, Kevin.
I think we've managed to expunge and eliminate any vagrant malevolent spirit from a mile and a half radius from here.
Absolutely.
I mean, easily.
And you should be feeling cleansed by the fire as well.
I don't know what I'm feeling.
I would say, it's
my psychologist will let you know.
Until now, I've been bedeviled by the fear of failing in making this place properly habitable. Salvation has come, however, in the making. It's a fantastic thing to boil up your own glue.
That is a miracle of nature.
To forge glass.
Just magic.
To transform a piece of junk into a working stove.
There's no other wood burner like this on the planet.
And to do it with your bare hands.
This is the shed laboratory. This is shed as experiment central.
I've discovered a secret truth, that out of making springs a relationship with materials, buildings, the place, and with the people who help me. And all this certainly makes me happy.
This is all about heat, light, warmth, and the enormous light and warmth that friendship brings. But look.
Okay.
Oh, look, the head's going. That's spectacular.
Next on my cabin, I turn my shell into a comfortable home.
Oh, that's lovely. Is this yours in here?
It's a whole new world of comfort.
This is astonishing.
And if you missed any of the new series of Grand Designs, you can find it on 4OD. Would you stay at a hotel run by Gordon Ramsay and Mary Portas? Well, from tomorrow you can, as Hotel GB opens at 9. Next tonight, though, it's the big fat quiz of the noughties.